G'day folks, I'm Wren, they, them, and it is time for November's TBRGate. Alright, so I have not done a TBRGate since I think May? Oops. I have done a couple of them, like just off camera. Yeah, for some reason filming them and editing them has just not been what I wanted to do. I didn't even want to do this one, but it's nearly the end of the year, so I thought I really should get back into the swing of TBRGate, because I think one of my goals for 2026 is going to be consistently doing TBRGate, because I do really enjoy it. It's just, for some reason, filming and editing this video in particular, not for me. But I'm gonna try. What I've decided to do for this round of TBRGate is, not refresh the board, but I don't remember where I last left off in May, and things have changed since I did a couple of rounds, behind the scenes. So what I decided to do was take off all of the hive ships and put back, 5 or 6 for all of the months that I have missed filming. So I put them randomly, spread all throughout the board, and then I'm just gonna start from any particular place and we'll go from there. And then that will kind of be the board going forth. But for November, there is one particular readathon that I would really like to participate in, and that is NetGalley November, hosted by Nicole from Dusty Book Sniffers, as well as 20 or something co-hosts. I'm so excited for NetGalley November because, oh my gosh, I need desperately to get my NetGalley score up. I think currently I'm on 24%, and the goal is 80. So I need to get to my arcs, and I think I've narrowed my arcs down to about 32 that I want to try and get to in November. I'm not going to list all 32 of them here, but just know I'm going to be really trying to actually read arcs in November. But that is the main readathon that I am participating in. I think that's about it. So let's get into the roles for November. Alright, so I have no idea where I left off the board, but I think I had 2 ZPMs, so I'm just going to leave that. I don't remember where any hive ships were meant to go, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put a hive ship down for all of the months that I haven't done TBRGate. So that's 5 hive ships that I'm going to put on the board randomly. I have no idea where I'm going to put them. I think I had a hive ship down there at some point, so let's do that. Let's put one on Earth, just because that's funny. Second one, let's go up here on Poco Ray, just because. Let's put another one, let's put another one here on Sandovi, because I think I get that one a lot, and having 2 close together is terrifying. And then the last one, I'll put it on this chevron. That's gonna be the board, and because I don't remember where I started, we're just gonna start on the top. So this is gonna be the board for November. So first roll. Ooh, that is a 17. Alright, so our first prompt is, jewelry on cover. Okay, I haven't had this one in so long. That's fun. Alright, roll number 2. Oh, it went off the board, but we'll still count it. That was a 6. Ooh, very close there. Alright, our next prompt. A friend pick. Ooh, okay, that'll be fun. Roll number 3. Ooh, is a 16. And our third prompt is, a random number generator. Okay, fun. Roll number 4 is a 7. Ooh, very close. And our fourth prompt is rivals. Huh. Okay, I'll need to think about that. For glyph number 5, another 7, so that means a self-care prompt, which I use these die to symbolize. But let's go for the roll. Hey, there we go. landed on a hive ship. So that means I have to read 2 books to complete this prompt. And that prompt is start a series. I have to start 2 new series. Not really what I wanted at the end of the year, but okay. And I'll just put spare little hive ship on that. Alright, roll number 6. Ooh, that is a 4. Very close. And our prompt is fantasy. Not my fave, but I will try and figure something out for that. Alright, we've only got 1 roll left and we haven't had any chevrons. So no character cards this round apparently. And we got a 4 again. So that is another self-care prompt. But we landed on a space we have already landed on, so that means we got to roll again. 13. Very nice. And our very last prompt for this round is emotional. Ooh, okay. So the first glyph we landed on was Salma, with the episode for that being suspicion and the prompt being jewelry on the cover. I used to think this was such an easy prompt, and then I looked through like a whole bunch of NetGalley arcs that I had, and none of them had jewelry on it. But I did manage to find one of my arcs that has jewelry on the cover, and that is Rethinking Gender, an illustrated exploration by Louis Lulga. If you can see, this person here has a necklace and some earrings, and other people have earrings and necklaces as well. So there's actually quite a few pieces of jewelry on this. So this, like I said, is a NetGalley arc that I had got, and it's like a non-fiction. It's like illustrated, and it really is kind of what it says. It's about gender. It's to help readers understand the question of what even is gender. Very valid question. As a non-binary person myself, I struggle with the question, what even is gender? And why are things gendered? And why does this mean this is a specific gender? And all the gender bullshit. So this I think will be really good. It talks about dysphoria, intersectionality, the differences between cisgender, non-binary, and intersex, biological gender, cultural, social, personal. Very cool. So it talks about a lot of different things, and the art style in it is very cute. I do very much like this. So I think this will be really interesting to read. Should be very interesting, and I'm very keen for it. It's also just really cute. But yeah, looking forward to this one. The next glyph I landed on was Rohi, with the episode for that being Reunion, and the prompt being a friend pick. So the other day, one of my friends came over, her name's Jo, and she saw that I had this on my table, and she was like, oh my god, what is that? I want that. So I'm taking that as my friend pick, because if I don't just make it that, I'm never gonna film this. And the book that she saw on my table was Big Hero 6, the series, volume 1 by Hong Gyun-an. Again, this was a NetGalley arc that I had, and it is Big Hero 6, the series. So there was a TV show of this movie. I haven't watched it, so I would be interested in that. This is a manga, so I don't know if this series is different from the one that's on Netflix or something, but it just says, you know, the gang is back for all new adventures. Although we have some new villains on the back there. And we get Baymax. Of course we get Baymax, but I fucking love Baymax. I am keen to see what this is about, what kind of adventures their little group gets into. But yeah, it's Big Hero 6. I'm sure it'll be great. The next glyph I landed on was Abrin, with the episode for that being 38 minutes and the prompt being a random number generator. Now, I already did this and I can't be bothered to do it like on screen. I recently bought a Google Sheets form. I don't know what they're called. It's like Excel and someone's already made it. And it's like a library. So you catalog everything that you have in your library, and then it gives you like some stats. I saw Jade from JD Ray Reads using this. I got one of those and I put every single one of my books into that spreadsheet. And I love it. It's really, really cool. Highly recommend. If I can remember, I will leave the link down below to buy one for yourself. And I just did a random number generator in that. So I think when I did it, which was yesterday, the amount of unread books I had on my shelves was 353, maybe, and I think the number I got was 69. It's very funny. But the book that it picked out for me, I'm actually very excited for, and that is the Luis Ortega Survival Club by Sonora Reyes. I have been very keen for this for a while now, because I know that in this we have autistic rep and queer rep of some kind. I don't know what kind. From what I can tell, it's about someone who is selectively mute, I believe. They kind of get bullied or something by this one particular guy who's kind of known for not being great with girls. And I think all of the girls that he's kind of pissed off come together and fight back. It is kind of giving John Tucker Must Die vibes. Now I love John Tucker Must Die, so I think it'll be good. Like, I'm slowly kind of getting out of some YA, but I think this, where it deals with a bit more heavy topics, I think I will be down for this. So, very much looking forward to this. Then the next glyph I landed on was El Nami, with the episode for that being Midway and the prompt being Rivals. I think this prompt is definitely one that I'm going to change for 2026, because this is just so hard to figure out sometimes. Like, sometimes you have to actually read the book to be able to tell, you know, if there is any kind of rivalry in it. But luckily I was able to find a book that fits that on my shelves, and one that I had been meaning to read this year. So that is Four Eids and a Funeral by Faraday Abike Imidi and Adiba Jagada. Completely butchered that name, I'm so sorry. These two were friends when they were kids, and then something happened, which I'm sure we'll find out in the book, that kind of drove them apart. And then I think the guy leaves for a while, and then he comes back for a funeral. On the day of the funeral, the Islamic Center burns down, and these two work together to try and save the Islamic Center and save Eid, which I think is happening during this time. So I am really interested in this because I really love Adiba Jagada's other books that I've read. Again, this is the kind of YA that I could still definitely be interested in, but this is one I have definitely been really keen for a really long time. And there's also a really cute cat on the front. I didn't notice that. Very cute. So the next glyph I landed on was Earth, with the episode for that being Rising and the prompt being Start a Series. But because this had a hive ship on it, I have to start 2 new series towards the end of the year. So not really the best time to be starting series, but that's okay because at least I'm still reading off my shelves. And that is very much the point of the last couple months of the year for me, is to actually read books that I own. So the first one I have been really wanting to read all year, and I think I'm finally going to get to it. And that is Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. I think this is actually a trilogy now. Potentially more books, I don't know. But for the longest time, it was just a duology. But I've heard really, really good things about this. And I met the author last year. She was lovely. I am really keen because it does sound like something I would be interested in. So there are 12 families in London with powers, and our main character is half monster. Ooh, I think there's also a love triangle, which like I'm not usually a fan of, but I swear when I was talking to the author, she asked if I was like a Stefan or a Damon person, and I said Stefan, and she was like, okay, you'll like this particular character in here. So I think maybe it might be good. I don't know. And I love this. It says, in every story there is a hero and a monster. She is not the hero. It sounds like it'll be really fun, and also the covers are stunning. And then the next series that I'm going to start is one I didn't actually know was going to be a series until I looked on Goodreads, and apparently there's a second one. So this is also a book I've tried to read before and I just couldn't really get into it, but I'm determined to finish it. And that is The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lind. This was a book that my mum bought me for Christmas, like, I don't know, last year, year before or something. But in this, we have a girl who's a street thief. And she has a little like found family thing going on. She gets a job where she has to steal a specific thing from a specific person, and it's like one of the hardest jobs ever because no one has ever been able to get into this place to steal it. And so she's like, sure, I'll do it. And then, you know, her and her little family will be able to like live comfortably for a little while. So she does the job and she's like, what the hell, this was so easy. But then the person that she's come to rob comes home and is like, how did you get through all of my wards? She was like, what are you talking about? And so he's intrigued by her because how did she get through all of that magic? And then things ensue. So I'm gonna give this one another go and hopefully I will finish it. I think I could like it. It could be good. I have just realized that almost all of the books on this TBR are YA. Oops. So the next glyph I landed on was Dawnry, with the episode for that being the Brotherhood and the prompt being fantasy. I think this is another one I want to change in 2026 because I don't actually love this episode very much. For this, I decided to go with When the Tides Held the Moon by Vanessa Vida Kelly. This is an arc that I got and I was so excited for it that I didn't read it. But I'm gonna read it now and I'm really, really excited for it. The cover, stunning. Oh my gosh. So this is described as a queer historical cozy fantasy. And it's set in like the 1910s, I believe. Yeah, 1910s. And our main character goes to work at, like, he's a blacksmith and he goes to work at this amusement park, I guess you could call it. And there he sees an attraction that is a merman. And then him and this merman catch feelings. And it's very gay. I am really keen to read this. I hope it's gonna be just as amazing as it looks. And then the last glyph I landed on was Bido, with the episode for that being Sunday and the prompt being emotional. The book I've decided to choose for this is a book that I've put on so many of my TBRs this year, probably as well as last year, but that is The First to Die at the End by Adam Silvera. I absolutely loved the first book. They both die at the end. It's one of my favorite books. I still love it. I still think about it all the time. And it's definitely emotional because the book is what the title says, you know? So it's very emotional, but I absolutely loved it. And then it got turned into a series. And this one, The First to Die at the End, it is following the first people that were a part of this death caste system. So in this world, you get a message the day before you're going to die, and it just lets you know you've got 24 hours to live. Do with that what you will. You know, a lot of people will like say their goodbyes, wrap up all their affairs, that kind of thing. But in this book, we are following the first people to go through that. I think it's gonna be very emotional. Of course it will, because I assume they're both gonna die at the end. But I've really, really loved Adam Silvera's writing and I really want to get into more of his stuff. Again, this is a YA, so I don't know how I've made like this entire TBR YA. It was very unintentional. Alright, so that is it for my TBRGate for November. This is the nice little stack that we got here, plus 2 books. I think it'll be doable, except for the fact that I then want to read 30 of my arcs. I will preface the arc thing by saying a lot of my arcs are comics or manga. I have a bunch of picture books, I have a lot of poetry, so I'm trying to get through a lot of the short stuff just so I can get my rating up to something a little bit more not shit. So I will be reading a lot of random stuff in November, but I really, really want to get my percentage up on NetGalley. I will try my darndest to actually read all of these arcs. That's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching and for being patient with these TBR gates. I'm really going to try in 2026 to be more consistent with them because I do enjoy them. 2025 has just basically been a dumpster fire, but I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, so thank you for being patient with me. That's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching and I might see you in my next one. Bye!